Hey everybody, Josh Sigurdson of World Alternative Media here, and there's some interesting news. I know out of CNN, but we're going to elaborate greatly on this because I think that this plays into a lot of the things we've been warning up for a long time. As the CNN travel article says, world first cell phone detection cameras rolled out in Australia. Now, there's a lot of concerning news out of Australia as far as the cashless society goes and technocracy goes lately, so we'll go into that in a moment. But first, as the article says, the Australian state of New South Wales rolled out high-definition detection cameras on Sunday designed to catch drivers using cell phones behind the wheel. Andrew Constance, New South Wales Minister for Roads, said the world-first technology would target illegal cell phone use through fixed and mobile trailer-mounted cameras. The cameras will use artificial intelligence to review images and detect illegal use of cell phones, according to Transport for NSW. Images identified as being likely to contain a driver illegally using a call phone will then be verified by authorized personnel, authorities said, noting that images captured by system would be securely stored and managed. That's always good. They're securely stored and managed securely, except for that the government has the ability to go into all of these, this data and utilize it to their advantage in the future, which can seriously put a lot of people in serious danger. I think the government is the biggest thing to be worried about here, not whether some hacker can get into it. Anyway, as it continues, it says, over the next 3 years, 45 portable cameras will be set up across the state in unknown locations and without warning signs, CNN affiliate Sky News Australia reported. For the first 3 months, drivers caught out by the technology will receive a warning letter, Transport for New South Wales said in a statement, after which offenders will face a fine of up to $344 or $457 in a school zone and penalty points on their driver's license. The NSW government is serious about reducing our state's road toll, and rolling out mobile phone detection cameras is another way we will do this, Andrew Constance, Minister for Roads, said in a statement. Officials said that a trial of the technology earlier in the year had caught more than 100,000 drivers illegally using a phone at the wheel. Some 329 people have died this year on New South Wales roads, Reuters news agency reported, compared with 354 people for all of 2018, according to official statistics. The state wants to cut the number of road fatalities by 30% by 2021, Reuters said. Making and receiving phone calls while driving is illegal in New South Wales, but using hands-free technology, other functions including using social media, video calling, photography, playing audio while driving are only legal if a driver has parked their vehicle outside of traffic. So there's more to this story than it claims. Now, wouldn't it be just great if you could just like enslave your neighbor by saying, well, if I don't, he might slip and fall on the floor. If I don't, he might burn his house down accidentally. He might, have a heart attack in his sleep. If we don't do this, these things can happen. Sure, texting and driving is stupid. I see it all the time. It drives me crazy. But that isn't why they are doing this. This has been a slow incremental frog boil for decades in Australia, and they are following the lead of China, which, by the way, has facial recognition cameras that spot people jaywalking, have everyone's face on record, Sesame credit. We'll go into that more in a moment, but someone walking across the street slightly crooked will get an SMS message on their phone that gives them a fine for, illegally crossing the road at an angle, even if there's no one around, because the camera has got their face, sent information to their phone, and publicly shamed them on a giant billboard with their face on it. And police have facial recognition goggles that can spot people, and they're unrolling the ability so that all their social credit scores go around them when people see them, so cops could just stand out there as a criminal henchman that they are and watch people walk by and go, oh, that guy has a low credit score. I don't know, maybe he said something not so nice about the government on social media. So now he's a target. We can stop and frisk him. We can check for ID. We can do that. We can check his pockets. We can make his life miserable, ruin his day. Maybe we can get him riled up enough that we can beat him and all that kind of stuff. And then kidnap him and throw him in a cage, because that's what they do. They're criminals. They're henchmen. And what they're doing in Australia, we saw what happened in Darwin. In Darwin, they were unrolling the smart grid, the smart city grid, and we're expecting to see cameras everywhere throughout Australia, capturing every moment in a vast wasteland, a beautiful, rugged land that has been for so long an individualistic place, an independent place. People are naturally individualistic in Australia more than a lot of places in the so-called first world. And what they're doing is they're utilizing places to test like that, to test their technocratic superstate grids in order to really start to go from there, and everything after will be easy. It's start hard, finish easy. It's like demonetizing gold in India, where gold is a very important part of culture, and utilizing a culture that loves gold in order to go cashless, because if they can do it to them, they could do it to anyone. Or it's like taking Alex Jones, the most popular independent media, off of YouTube. If they could do it to Alex Jones, they could do it to anyone. It's all a test. And with the demonetization in Australia, as far as trying to take certain notes out of circulation, they've been really pushing their cashless system. They've been really putting eyes on people's bank accounts, auditing people, not wanting people to use cash. Australia is going cashless. And let's go back to the early 1970s, 72 or 73, when Henry Kissinger met with Mao Zedong in China. Now, they formed an alliance with China, which led to the creation of the Trilateral Commission under Zbigniew Brzezinski in the late 1970s under Jimmy Carter. That blew up into a massive, massive exodus of businesses to China, which is all by plan, all by script, leading to what we have today. And on top of that, it allowed China, this massive fascio-communist dictatorship, to be able to grow their size and scope dramatically, and be able to enslave countless people, not just as child labor in factories, but also as tax slaves. So this was all planned for a long time. Now, Australia is really, really, really going in the direction of China right now. It's been really alarming, to say the least, just in the last couple of years. And starting with Morrison really, really was a big part of that. So my point is that people have to be very careful, because what happens when you have a cashless society? Well, first of all, they want to bring interest rates down. Australia is bringing interest rates down, like Sweden did, and they went cashless. Australia is bringing their interest rates down dramatically and could see negative rates very, very soon, like we see it going in the direction of that in Britain, in Europe in general, in Italy, in obviously China even. They're expecting lower rates, Japan, and the United States and Canada. This is going to happen, and it's very dangerous. So what happens next? Well, there's run on the banks. The banks are all bankrupt according to their own cash to deposit ratios. So how do they get around that? Well, that's easy. They basically make everything cashless so that every transaction goes to the bank. So if your money's in the bank, it's not yours, it's the bank's. And if your money's always going through the banks via digital transactions, legal tender laws, usury under the social contract, it's never your money, it's always the bank's, and you are enslaved to the banking system right where they want you, so they can push you into debt. And what happens when they push you into debt? If they shove you down a bottomless pit of debt, you're forced to ask for a ladder up from the government and the banking system, pushing you into perfect servitude to them right where they want you. This is a huge part of the slave grid that is being elapsed upon, grown, built up into this massive behemoth that few realize is coming, because they're bringing tyranny down on people under the guise of convenience, things that are more convenient. Oh, well, this person's texting and driving. Well, your face is on a database that goes into your social credit system. Facebook applies to that too. Mark Zuckerberg helping China years ago with their facial recognition program and artificial intelligence. I believe that Facebook's trying to create their own sovereign governance structure. And with that, what they're going to do is they're going to have everyone's records. Instead of people having their house bugged, everyone just gives the government their information. And they're going to utilize that and political belief systems and, good and bad lists on Facebook to determine social credit scores down the line. This is why you should move to float.app, flote.app, away from these terrible, terrible social media companies that work with the government in China in order to enslave you down the line. And they're already causing people to censor their own speech, so they're not doing too bad at that, if I might add. So I am really concerned about the direction in which Australia is going. But it's not just Australia, it's the rest of the world. And as we enter a currency reset worldwide, the recession having been technical since 2008, but not official, papered over with debt. I think we are entering into a new dark ages for the economy. The everything bubble, derivatives worldwide, multi-quadrillion dollar levels, housing bubbles, pension bubbles, the shortfall reaching around $400 trillion by the year 2050, which is about 5 times the global GDP. I mean, just absolutely ridiculous. People aren't going to have their pensions. People born in 2007 set to live to 103 on average. This is going to be tragic, and it's a form of monetary terrorism, and we need to stand up now for ourselves to decentralize, to break free from this slave complex, and preserve our purchasing power. Be independent. Be individualistic, self-sustainable, responsible. That is a hallmark of freedom. Don't fall for these gimmicks of convenience in order to enslave you on a farm where you go, well, you know what? At the end of the day, we got grass, green grass to eat on this little farm, on this pasture. I mean, I don't really think much about the fences because we got enough freedom. I mean, grass on the ground to eat, and all is fine until you get led off by the do-good shepherd to the slaughter with a smile on your face. We recently interviewed Naomi Brockwell. Actually, that was a couple months ago. Naomi Brockwell, who's obviously from Australia, who did a great video with us on the Cashless Society in Australia, which I definitely recommend everyone check out. We need to break free from this. We need to innovate. We need to compete against the state's inefficient but currently prevalent the technocratic superstate grid that they are working on in order to enslave humanity. And it's already much of the way done. Most money is already digital, folks. It's not the digital factor that's a bad part. It's who's controlling it. It's centralized. It's going through the banking system. It's by legal tender. It's by fiat, by law, by force. And then people are charged the interest on the debt, and inflation goes up, and the fraud is just overwhelming. So anyway, we hope that you continue. We will continuously bring this stuff to you, but we hope you continuously read into this stuff and prepare yourself as best as possible. I think there's more solutions than there are problems, and that really does come down to you as a free individual sustaining yourself and being independent and not dependent on the individuals, or the collectives, I should say, that are dependent on your dependents. Government is organized crime, taxation is theft, and you are a slave. If you don't break free, then forever hold your peace. Until next time, this is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change. Like what you see here at Wham? Don't forget to check the links below. GoFundMe, Patreon. We cannot do it without you guys. Every donation is extremely, extremely appreciated as we're getting incredibly shadow banned. We've lost 80% of our audience since January of 2019 and counting. They are ripping us apart here on YouTube, and the only thing we could do in the meantime as we prepare for the next big step is to ask for help from the viewers that support our free information that we try to post on a daily basis. You can also find us on Subscribestar, where just $1 a month, that's all it takes, $1 a month is all it takes to truly make a huge difference. If everyone gave $1 a month, it would change everything for independent media, and we could win this information war, and we can defeat the mainstream medias eventually. And of course, on Subscribestar, we post subscriber-only content that you'll only see on Subscribestar. So make sure to pledge there, become a patron. That makes a huge difference, guys. And also, don't forget to check out our Bitcoin address below in the comments and description, as well as on the screen for you to scan if you please. And also, don't forget to subscribe to us on the alternatives. We will likely be deleted by YouTube in the next 2 years. It's already happening on a vast scale, so make sure to find us on float.app. That's flote.app. at Josh Sigurdson, as well as at Wham, W-A-M. Float.app is replacing every social media, and I mean, it's just incredible the opportunities it provides for not just creators, but for the average person who wants to get away from these nannies telling them what they can or cannot see. They plan to replace Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, Tumblr, Reddit, and Patreon. You could subscribe to us on Float and pledge with cryptocurrency. It's really innovative. We are also on BitChute at World Alternative Media, as well as so many others, Minds, PocketNet. You can find us at World Alternative Media on Instagram. There's many options. And finally, don't forget to join us at Anarchapulco 2020, the famous event, the best liberty event known to mankind other than perhaps Anarcho Vegas 2020. There are two major events coming up that we are extremely excited about, and you can use promo code WHAM, that's W-A-M, and save 10% on your tickets to these legendary conferences. There's so many amazing people speaking there. You won't want to miss it. So make sure to support in any way you can, even if it's just sharing our videos, pressing like, pressing to be notified. Anything helps, folks. You are the change you wish to see. Thanks for watching, everyone. And until next time, this is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.
I'm sure you have already changed people's minds in your young age because you're involved, and I like that.